sauna and jacuzzi were also installed. Now, is this not a huge letdown or a breaking away, departure from the entire Aam Aadmi, muffler man, common person who's working for the common people of Delhi? Is this not a huge departure? Is this not a dent? Is the Sheeshmahal going to be the undoing of the Aam Aadmi Party as it seeks a record repetition of terms? The Aam Aadmi Party claims this is all being unnecessarily blown out of proportion by the BJP. But is this going to dent Arvind Kejriwal's image as the common man, as the muffler man, as the man who came from amongst them to do good for the people of Delhi? Let's go across to Akashdeep Muni, political analyst who's with us, and Siddharth Yadav, national spokesperson of the BJP, after we play out some of the reactions that have come in so far.
जब दिल्ली के लोग कोरोना से जूझ रहे थे, जब दिल्ली के लोग ऑक्सीजन और दवाओं के लिए भटक रहे थे, तब इन लोगों का पूरा फोकस अपना शीश महल बनवाने में था।
जो लोग ये आरोप लगाते हैं कि आम आदमी पार्टी लड़ती बहुत है, ये आज के उद्घाटन उन लोगों को जवाब है इस बात का कि आम आदमी पार्टी केवल और केवल दिल्ली के लोगों के लिए काम करती है।
जो लोग कहते थे कुछ नहीं लेंगे, सरकारी बंगला नहीं लेंगे, घर नहीं लेंगे, गाड़ी नहीं लेंगे, किस प्रकार से दोनों हाथों से उन्होंने बटोरा है, किस प्रकार से करप्शन किया है, उसका काला चिट्ठा CAG के रिपोर्ट में आता है।
The Sheeshmahal impact, will it hurt the Aam Aadmi Party? Let's go across to Akashdeep Muni and Siddharth Yadav. Namaste, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, gentlemen. It's the two of you in this face-off, so let's hope we are able to extend each other enough time and civility. Akashdeep Muni, how do you respond to the charges made by the Prime Minister and the BJP?
See, Anandji, I remember the Honorable Prime Minister say that he is a fakir, and one fine day he will be wo jhola dal ke chal denge. I remember his words, and today, while I see during Corona Kal, there was a tender of Prime Minister House with 467 crore renovation work of public money, which is done on 32,000 square feet of land of his house. Now, if Honorable Prime Minister says that he is against Sheeshmahal, why he is staying in Sone Ka Mahal when the PM house is not only 50 crore, but it is 2,700 crore, the whole Central Vista project, and his renovation work is 467 crore of public money. I request the Honorable Prime Minister to open his house and show to all people of Delhi that this is my house, and the Chief Minister, and then should show to all Delhiites their house, and let people vote on whose house is Sheeshmahal, whose house is Sone Ka Mahal. Actually, Anand, the main moot point is that the Delhi election has become BJP's Gali versus Aam Aadmi Party's war. 16 schools built by Kejriwal, and I challenge Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson that I can name the schools. 16 new schools built by Aam Aadmi Party. 2,500 new classrooms built by Aam Aadmi Party. And what Bharatiya Janata Party is doing? Bharatiya Janata Party's Bidodi is questioning the Kalkaji candidate, is questioning the parentage of Chief Minister Atish. Is this the parlance? The Kalkaji candidate is questioning I cannot say the words what he has uttered for Priyanka Gandhi. You know about it. These type of
nobody will endorse, and I think that is for the BJP to answer the question on Mr. Biduri and his comments. But the subject matter and the focus right now is public perception, the aspect of perception. Someone who said, I don't even need a Lal Batti. I'm happy to travel around in a Maruti 800 and live from my humble leanings and beginnings. For that person to now talk about and come under the question that when he was in office and he was chief minister, this is what was done to the chief minister's residence, and a lot of it was dismantled, taken away, whence he was forced out of his chair and somebody else came in his place, albeit from the Aam Aadmi Party. Siddharth Yadav, the AAP is questioning and pitting the PMO and the Prime Minister's residence, 7 Lok Kalyan Marg, vis-a-vis Arvind Kejriwal's residence, saying, how can the Prime Minister ask? How would you respond?
Anand, is that question for me?
Yes, Siddharth Yadav.
Yes, Anand, I'm facing a lot of issues hearing the discussion, but with what I have gathered, I'll answer that. Number one, I think what has come to light today, the CAG report and the Arvind Kejriwal and their party would definitely, very well understand what is the importance of a CAG report, because they came into power citing CAG reports. They came into power citing corruption in Delhi. They came into power accusing political parties and leaders. And today, when they stand here, they are, at the receiving end of the entire fiasco of corruption that they have done in Delhi. What is happening in Delhi is unparalleled, it is unprecedented, and we have never seen something of this scale happen. And Anand, I'll make my points, but briefly, the kind of comparison that is being drawn with Central Vista project, which includes renovation of Kartavya Path, which includes renovation of North Block, South Block, the ministries, the large infrastructure development upscaling that is happening, to a residence which is not even the official residence of the Chief Minister of Delhi, I think, I have no comments on that. But what is more shocking that the report has revealed, let me just point out a few things. The report says the tender, the estimate cost was around 7 crores. The tender was 8.6 crore, 662 crores. And how much have you spent? In the tender itself, you made an increase of 13% from the estimate. In the spending, you're spending 33 crores. You're spending on what? You're spending on Italian marbles. You're spending on Toto commode seats. You're spending on luxury silk carpets, curtains. What is this? You came to power. This was one party which said, we do not want anything. This was one party which said that they were even counting the number of ACs in Sheila Dikshit's residence. This was one party which said that no political party leaders should live in luxuries. And when the people of Delhi were struggling in COVID, when they were struggling to find basic resources, when the Delhi hospitals were failing, that is the time when the Delhi Chief Minister was busy upscaling his house, remodeling his house. The entire house was broken, constructed in a new way, in 21,000 square feet. Anand Ranganathan, I ask you this question. You have been in, Anand, you have been in the media for so long. Have you heard this, that one chief minister is making a house of 21,000 square feet amid a pandemic that has affected the national capital of Delhi, and is installing 20 lakhs of TV console, 16 lakhs of silk carpet, heavy curtains? Have you ever heard that? I have not. The people of Delhi have not. So when
you have
we are
made
in a
one very
situation
important claim.
when
You
one
have said
party,
that this is not even the official residence. What you have said is that this is not even the official residence of the Chief Minister of Delhi. So the comparison to be made with 7 Lok Kalyan Marg, which is the official residence of the Prime Minister of the country, with what is not even the official residence of the Chief Minister of Delhi, is that a fair comparison, Akashdeep Muni? One. Secondly, the other charge is when Delhi was reeling under the effects of the pandemic, Mr. Kejriwal was busy sprucing up his own residence with lavish gifts and lavish elements and which he himself had come out in public domain and said, I will dither from all of this. This is not my brand of politics. That's the issue of perception I'm asking Akash. It's not about whether 40 crores was spent or 10 crores was spent or 15 crores was spent, or there was an approval of 7 crore and you spent 9 crore. No, that's not the case. The person who said and who is accused of doing all of this and indulging in all sorts of such luxury is the one who came, whose political plank was, I am Aam Aadmi. I will continue to remain middle class and Aam Aadmi. I will shun.
I think that perception is not dented. Why? Let me prove to you. Now you say 33 crores has been spent during Corona Kal. very bad, बहुत बुरा हुआ, नहीं करना चाहिए था. But taking the same argument forward, Honorable Prime Minister during Corona Kal, and I again for his own residents, and I want to request the BJP spokesman to not confuse the Central Vista project. I clearly challenge the BJP spokesperson that 467 crore has been used for tendering process of the residents of the Honorable Prime Minister only during Corona Kal, and he should be appalled. ये 33 करोड़ की बात नहीं है, ये 500 करोड़ तक जा रहा है मामला. तो आज तो मतलब ना कि शम से पानी पानी हो जाना चाहिए, बट ऐसा हो नहीं रहा है. 33 करोड़ पे रुके, 467 करोड़ को भूल गए. Now, second point, coming on to your point that perception. Honorable Prime Minister said that he's a fakir. वो तो फकीर है. क्या चाहिए उनको 500 करोड़ का घर? क्या चाहिए उनको 10 लाख रुपए का सूट? बोल दे वो बीजेपी स्पोक्सपर्सन कि 10 लाख रुपए का सूट नहीं पहना था. बोल दे आज. क्या उनको चाहिए 8400 करोड़ की चॉपर? बता दे कि ना कि ये सारा फिगर गलत है. Either they say that these figures are wrong, और देश से माफी मांगे कि ना कि मैंने कोरोना काल में 467 करोड़ का रेनोवेशन करा के गलत काम किया, और फिर अपना घर खोल दे और दिल्ली के वोटरों को पूछ ले कि
now that is you have a question and you have made an accusation, but I'd just like to make one point. The amount that was spent on the Prime Minister's office and his residence is the Prime Minister of the country's office or residence, and it is not personal property or individual property of Narendra Damodar Das Modi. So when he demits office, the PMO remains the same. The allegation that the BJP has made right now is that this money has been spent on a place which is not even the official residence, designated residence of the Chief Minister of Delhi. So public money being used to renovate a private home, a private household, that's the allegation, a non-chief ministerial residence, and that is what has been spent. That's the money that's been spent. And the other question I ask, if you are saying that the Prime Minister is a fakir and he claimed he's a fakir and he does not want anything and he'll walk away, the question is, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal said that even before Narendra Modi, and he promised the people of Delhi that I will not take Lal Batti, I will not travel in a big car, you will not see me on the lap of luxuries. But his residence where he chose to live is a contradiction to his own words. It's not me who imposed it on him or any voter of Delhi who imposed it on them, Akashdeep Muni.
Okay.
क्या फर्क पड़ता है is not the question. जो कहा और जो किया, कहनी, कथनी और करनी में अंतर है कि नहीं, और उसकी वजह से आपका जो परसेप्शन था उसमें डेंट होगा कि? That's what I'm asking.
देखिए आनंद जी, क्या ये जो घर है वो अरविंद केजरीवाल का प्राइवेट घर है नहीं. अरविंद केजरीवाल ने जब चीफ मिनिस्टर की कुर्सी छोड़ी तब 2 ही दिन में उनका हाउस डेमिट करके वो चले गए. आज तो क्वेश्चन सर्वेश वर्मा पे, सर्वेश जी से पूछनी चाहिए. उन्होंने तो अभी तक अपना घर नहीं छोड़ा जबकि वो सांसद नहीं है. अपने घर में बैठ के पैसे बांट रहे हैं बीजेपी को वोट देने के लिए. प्रश्न तो उनसे पूछना चाहिए सिद्धार्थ जी को, पर आज प्रश्न उल्टा अरविंद केजरीवाल को पूछ रहे हैं. अरविंद केजरीवाल का पर्सनल घर नहीं है. कल आज आतिशी वहां पे रह रही है, कल अगर भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बन गई उनका चीफ मिनिस्टर वहां पे रहेगा. ये तो सरकारी प्रॉपर्टी है. जैसे कि प्राइम मिनिस्टर रेजिडेंस सरकारी प्रॉपर्टी है, वैसे ही चीफ मिनिस्टर रेजिडेंस है. तो इसका कोई कंपैरिजन नहीं है. The main moot point is that...
So you are saying that it's not a private property. The next chief minister, even if it is whether they are from AAP or not, whether it is Mr. Kejriwal or Ms. Atishi or not, they will reside in this place. So they are not taking anything with them. Siddharth Yadav.
Okay, Anand, I think there should be a limit to the lies spoken on national television, and I will bust this particular lie. And my friend from Aam Aadmi Party can rebut me if I am wrong. I will do whatever he says. The 6 flag past road, where this construction has happened, where Arvind Kejriwal was living, is not the designated official residence of the Chief Minister of Delhi. I repeat, it is not the designated official residence of the Chief Minister of Delhi. The earlier Chief Ministers were not living in the house where Arvind Kejriwal has done this renovation. Delhi, being a union territory, does not have any designated official residence for the Chief Minister. Now, if Arvind Kejriwal is not the CM tomorrow, he can very well be living in the same house as a MLA. He can get it allotted, he can be living there. Although he is going to lose his own election this time, so that is a different case, because when the people decide, you do not have any choice. But when Aam Aadmi Party comes out and says that they have done renovation to the official residence, that is not true. This is point number one. Point number two, forget everything. You wanted to renovate, you renovate. Go ahead and renovate. Is this how you renovate? Anand, when renovations have to happen in government houses, in government buildings, consultants have to be brought in, tenders have to be given out. Everything is falsehood. Everything is fabricated. First, tender estimate cost was lower, then the tender came out higher. Then they, the final, the payment that they made was even higher. They got in consultants. Spot consultation, spot tendering happened. No advertisement. One party which always does advertisement and advertisement and advertisement did not do any advertisement. Arvind Kejriwal stood out of the house and said, "Oh, कौन है consultant? आइए चलिए आपको रख लेते हैं." एक कंसल्टेंट अपनी मर्जी का रख लिया. उनको सरकार का पैसा, दिल्ली के लोगों का पैसा जितना मर्जी आया उनको देने लग गए. उसके बाद क्या किया? बार बार रिविजन ऑफ एस्टिमेट्स, again and again. One time you are saying this particular thing is for 100 rupees. Then you say 200 rupees. Then you say 400 rupees. Then you came out and said, no, we want one camp office. We want one staff quarters. What is more shocking, which has come out in CAG report, is that no camp office, no staff quarters were made. All of that money was used in gym, sanitary, sauna of Arvind Kejriwal. Are you telling us that this is right for a chief minister? Are you telling us that we should not be raising questions upon this? Why are you not coming out of the falsehood? The Arvind Kejriwal and entire party, when questions are asked, they are only saying, "Arey, ye to official residence to unka bhi hota hai, unhone aisa kar diya." They would want to draw any comparisons which are totally absurd. But the questions today are being asked from one party जो कहते थे स्वच्छता की राजनीति करनी है, हमको कुछ नहीं चाहिए. और क्या क्या ले लिया? Anand, please allow me to say, क्या क्या ले लिया? First, teak wood was approved, first class teak wood. They changed it to superior teak wood. 3 modular kitchens. Vitrified marble tiles. They changed that. They said, no, we want Italian marbles. Silk carpet. Normal carpets को change करके silk carpets लिए. Mini bar. Mini bar. No, I do not have any comments, but very good. आप जनता के पैसे से बाहर भी शराब पिलाओ, उसमें भी पैसा कमाओ और घर में भी मिनी बार रखो. Bose speakers in the toilets. Bose speakers. वहां पे अरविंद केजरीवाल जी बैठ करके सुनेंगे. 12 chandeliers. Is this what Arvind Kejriwal's clean politics, swachhta ki politics is? They have only looted the people of Delhi. They decided they wanted
now this is what is the you made the accusation. You're counting out the itinerary and itemized of what's been done. But Siddharth Yadav, the allegation is that the PMO also, he said, Akashdeep Muni said, Prime Minister's residence 7 Lok Kalyan Marg, 467 crore has been spent. Why such a huge spend there? For what reason?
Anand,
how is that justified?
Anand,
can the BJP ask this question of a Delhi chief minister who's accused of spending about 40 odd crores on what they have called, the BJP is called the Sheeshmahal, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Prime Minister's office are his residence, 7 Lok Kalyan Marg, the accusation is that 467 crores has been spent in its renovation.
Anand, first of all, I think there is no comparison, because one is a non-designated, non-official residence. One is the official residence of the Prime Minister of our country, the 5th largest economy of the world. Manmohan Singh ji was living in that. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was living in the same residence. Prime Minister Modi is living in the same residence. All the Prime Ministers who are going to follow are going to live in the same residence. So this is point number one. Point number two, what is a PM's residence? Now, I did not even want to get into a debate of comparing a chief minister with a prime minister. How many chief ministers are there in our country? There is one prime minister. What are the requirements? I'm not getting into that. But what is the residence of the prime minister? It hosts the SPG. The Specialized Protection Group, the Special Protection Group, the Specialized Force, which is for the protection of the Prime Minister of this country. It holds the PMO, the Prime Minister's office. All of us know that. The residents, how many people live in the residence, the official numbers cannot come out because of security reasons. But all of us know that what the residence hosts and what is the number. What is the residence number? It is 7 local landmark. All of us know it is not one residence. It is 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. Because all residences, one is for PMO, one is for SPG, one is for the Prime Minister's residence, one is for state guests. And this is the kind of mechanism that we have put in place as a country for the top office of our country. Are we comparing it to one Lutera, Arvind Kejriwal, who decided to have silk carpets? Are we comparing it to one Lutera, Aam Aadmi Party, which decided to have Italian marbles? You tell me the overspending and the loss and the fraud in the tendering that has happened in Prime Minister's allocation. You tell me one fraud that has happened. I'm pointing out 5 frauds. The Arvind Kejriwal and Aam Aadmi Party cannot do it. So Anand, very humbly, very respectfully, I submit that no comparisons can be drawn. And even if you do, the comparisons are very stark, because here fraud has happened. Here,
what was the purpose for one? What vis-a-vis the purpose for the other? That's a fair. You've made a fair argument, and the numbers and perhaps further numbers are there. But we're going to come back to the subject matter. It's aspect of what the BJP has termed Sheeshmahal. Did Mr. Kejriwal need such luxury at his residence as a leader who's been given a popular vote by the people for being an Aam Aadmi? And that's where we'll rest this debate. We'll take this forward in the days to come. Thank you very much, Siddharth Yadav and Akash Tipuni. We've got news coming through, big news coming in. So have to go across to that. One police vehicle has been blown away after an IED blast in Bijapur in Chhattisgarh. Several are feared dead. At least 20 jawans were in the pickup vehicle that was blown off. Forces were coming back after an operation that was launched on Sunday. The location of the blast is on the Sukma-Bijapur border. Arunima joins us with more details. Yes, Arunima, is this a counteraction to some successes recently that the forces have had, or were they on hot pursuit?
See, CPI Maoists has been waiting for their moment to hit back, and this moment unfortunately came today. The details that we have so far is that these Chhattisgarh policemen were coming back after an operation. On their way back, their vehicle was ambushed. Looks like a huge quantity of explosive had been submerged when the road was being constructed, and a detonating wire was then pulled deep into the forest. Preliminary assessment seems to suggest that there were people who were keeping a watch on the movement of these Chhattisgarh policemen when they were coming back, and on receiving a specific tip-off, a group of Maoists or their supporters triggered the IED by setting off the detonating wire and the detonating device. The pictures from the ground show us there's a huge crater that was created. The steering wheel of the Scorpio vehicle has been completely, it's dismantled totally, doesn't look like a steering at all. In fact, the body parts of our martyrs also have been completely ripped off. So it's a very, very sad day for the Chhattisgarh police. The standard operating procedure, Anand, is very clear. It is said that when you're going for an operation, don't take the same road to go and come back, because you're often watched. Second thing that you're often advised is not to take a vehicle but to travel on foot, specifically to avoid a situation like this. But again, if you speak to people on the ground, they will tell you sometimes fatigue or other factors are forcing the jawans on the ground to not follow the standard operating procedure. What exactly happened in this case is a matter of investigation. The National Investigation Agency at some point will step into the picture and take a look, collect forensic evidence, but all of that will have to wait. For now, the process of ensuring that the martyrs, their bodies are taken to Jagdalpur first and then onwards to Raipur so that they can be sent home, and the injured are given whatever medical help they require. The entire area is being sanitized. Search operation is still on.
Right. Thank you for your input, Arunima, and let us just hope and pray. Condolences to the families that have lost soldiers who have given up their life, who've been killed in action. Meanwhile, let us just hope that the forces are able to avenge this sooner than later, and those who are the perpetrators of this dastardly act are brought to book soon. We've got to take a short break. When we come back, Islamic cleric's controversial claim of Waqf land being used for the Mahakumbh in 2025. The seers have hit back strongly, saying that these are elements who are towing a Pakistani line. Stay with us.
Can the BJP end its 27-year-long power drought in Delhi? Well, the party is employing a multi-pronged strategy to live up to this challenge as it senses anti-incumbency against the Aam Aadmi Party's decade-long rule and feels that the narrative of AAP's corruption and misgovernance has percolated to the masses. It is also a very localized campaign by the BJP this time, with the Prime Minister speaking about sewers and waterlogged roads and DTC fleets and potholes. This is a marked shift from the national issues campaign run by BJP in the past in Delhi. The effort is to touch the pulse of the common Delhiite on the issues he's facing day in and day out. The BJP strategy, in fact, seems to be on 5 political pillars, glimpses of which have been evident in the 2 public addresses of the Prime Minister in Delhi last week. Number 1, Modi is again the BJP's face in Delhi and the party is not projecting any chief ministerial face. Number 2, it is the Prime Minister and Amit Shah who are leading the attack on AAP on the Sheeshmahal campaign around the Chief Minister's affluent residence. The BJP feels this is AAP's Achilles heel. Number 3, the BJP is highlighting AAP's misgovernance from the state of the Yamuna to air pollution to try keep the campaign local. It says Delhi needs a double-engine government run by the BJP. Number 4, the BJP is planning a strong counter to Aam Aadmi Party's 2 major weapons. Number 1, free electricity and the rupees 2100 promised to women. BJP has also made a major overture to slum dwellers who are a major vote bank in Delhi, with Prime Minister Modi saying that everyone will get a pakka home. 5th, the BJP is hoping that the Congress and the BSP can also dent AAP's votes in multiple seats and BJP ends up gaining from it. Modi is the face. Leading the charge against the AAP is again the BJP's top face, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This was the same case in 2020 when the BJP had lost. BJP did project Kiran Bedi as their chief ministerial face in 2015, but that ended in a disaster as AAP won as many as 67 out of the 70 seats in Delhi. Arvind Kejriwal and his party are taking potshots at the BJP, asking who their doolha or the bridegroom is in these elections. But the BJP feels there are bigger issues in this Delhi election than the CM face. It is buoyed by the wins in Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh in 2023 without projecting any CM face. The 2 posters released by the BJP so far only have Modi as the face on them. The BJP in fact feels that AAP has complicated its own strategy by saying that Kejriwal will replace Atishi as the CM if AAP wins, despite the Supreme Court putting stiff conditions on Kejriwal while granting him bail. Number 2, big strategy of the BJP is Sheeshmahal AAP's Achilles heel. Well, unlike 2020, when BJP did not have as much ammunition on the front of corruption of AAP, this election is different, as the Sheeshmahal controversy around the CM's affluent residence could prove to be its Achilles heel. This explains PM Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah leading the attack on this issue. To quote Prime Minister Modi, "I never built a house for myself. I could have also built a Sheeshmahal, but my dream has been that the poor get a concrete house." A latest CAG report, which has not been tabled in the Delhi Assembly so far, has also posed serious questions on the lavish expenditure done in refurbishing and renovating the CM's residence in Delhi. The Prime Minister has led the attack on this CAG report as well, saying Kejriwal was focused on building the Sheeshmahal at a time when the national capital was struggling with COVID. Failed governance. BJP is also doubling down on the state of the Yamuna and the persistent air pollution issue in the national capital to corner AAP's governance model in Delhi. PM has termed AAP as Apada, or a calamity for Delhi. While the AAP is showcasing its health and education model in Delhi, BJP is trying to tell the people that AAP has failed on core governance issues like sewage system and water scarcity and is always on a confrontational mode with the centre. hence impeding Delhi's development. In fact, the BJP is imploring voters to return to the development model of governance rather than AAP's freebie culture, much like it was in the Sheila Dikshit era when Congress was in power both in the centre and in the state. The BJP is urging Delhi's voters to again opt for a double-engine government in Delhi so that development activity in Delhi can go again ahead unhindered. It is important for Delhi to walk hand in hand with India's development journey, the Prime Minister said on Sunday. He said this is why it is important that the BJP is in power both in centre and in Delhi. The Prime Minister also said that all the big works in Delhi are done by the centre and that it has given rupees 75,000 crores to Delhi. The Prime Minister's twin rallies in Delhi last week have focused.
Islamic cleric and president of the All India Muslim Jamaat, Maulana Shahabuddin Razvi Barelvi, has fired a fresh salvo by claiming that the upcoming Prayagraj Mahakumbh event is being held on land owned by the Waqf board. In a video message, Barelvi said that 55 bighas of Waqf land are being used for the Hindu religious event. He further said that Muslims of Prayagraj have shown a large heart by not grudging the use of Waqf land for the Mahakumbh. However, Hindu leaders have rejected the Maulana's claims. Hindu Mahasabha President Swami Chakrapani Maharaj has said that Barelvi must be sponsored by Pakistan and with people with a terrorist mindset. He said that the cleric is making a malicious attempt to disturb the Mahakumbh and his statements should be investigated. It's obviously sparked off a huge debate. The Mahakumbh 2025 that gets underway from the 13th of January with 14th being the Shahi Snan date, and expected to bring in about more than 45 crore people over a period of about 35 days. The biggest celebration or conglomeration of congregation of people for a spiritual event. And that has also now turned into a controversial conversation with the comments made by this Islamic cleric. Listen in to the reaction.
इस तमाम व्यवस्था को कायम रखने के लिए कोई भी आपत्ति नहीं की और 55 बीघे की जमीन पर जो वक्फ जमीन है वो जमीन पर कुंभ मेला लग रहा है। तो ये तमाम चीजें जाहिर करती हैं कि कहां से कौन तंगदिली छोटे दिल का मुजाहरा कर रहा है और कौन लोग हैं जो बड़े दिल का मुजाहरा कर रहे हैं।
ऐसा कहना बिल्कुल असत्य है और ये असत्य को रोकने के लिए इनको मुंह तोड़ उत्तर देना चाहिए कि वो वक्फ की जमीन है, वो वक्फ की जमीन नहीं है, वो देव पूजित जमीन है।
आप पाकिस्तान आतंकी तो भेज नहीं सकता, उपद्रवी तो भेज नहीं सकता, दहशतगर्दी कैसे कराए? तो इस तरह से दहशतगर्दी हमें लगता है पाकिस्तान के इशारे पे इस तरह के कुछ लोग हैं जो मुल्ला मौलवी जो जानबूझ करके महाकुंभ को विवादित करने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं।
Is this a deliberate attempt to, one, derail the Mahakumbh, create an entire Hindu-Muslim controversy and vitiate the atmosphere? Or was Shahabuddin Barelvi only trying to say that no, all communities are coming together and don't call Muslims as, those who are not cooperative and don't believe in a collaborative and cohesive society? Harmonious society. We are also contributing. It is 55 bighas of Waqf land, but we are making no noise about it. That's what. Ashwini Dubey with us and Syed Asad Abbas also with us. My namaste, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat to everybody. Ashwini Dubey, what's the problem? Which is this 55 bighas of land which Barelvi has claimed, Shahabuddin Barelvi has claimed is Waqf land?
It's not the Waqf land. It's an attempt to, as you rightly said, that yes, we are also contributing, allegedly contributing in the 144-year-old Mahakumbh, the Shahi Isnan, a center for faith of millions of Sanatan followers worldwide. We are contributing. This claim, in fact, if you see, is very unprecedented and uncalled for. Anand bhai, why? The Mahakumbh, a center of faith for millions of Sanatan followers worldwide, is a significant event which is not happening first time. It is happening for centuries. And that event where saints and pilgrims from across the globe gather, making a claim itself shows that they do not believe in the secular fabric of the constitution, and they still claim that any land, wherever it is, they can claim to be their work property. An act which is unconstitutional, which does not find place in the constitution, which is against the secularism, unity integrity of the nation, which is not enacted in order to secure the fundamental rights, but in order to give the appeasement, to declare any property as the Waqf property. As again, this claim made it clear that they do not want this constitution to flourish, the constitutional ethos to continue, and in fact, they want that any property which is in the India belongs to. Sometimes they have claimed the 15 years old in your state only, 15 years old temple they have claimed to be their work property. Even the village to village they have claimed to the work property. Even if you see the parliament, the entire corridor which was being constructed, they said the work property. India Gate is work property. Delhi High Court is work property. So in fact, this work property, by making this claim, they have made it again a statement that they do not believe in the peace and harmony, and in fact, they want to practice, propagate, and preach what they suiting them.
Sayyid Asad Abbas?
Anand Sahab, firstly, let me tell you, as a proud Indian Muslim, since I was a very small boy going to school, I've heard of the Mahakumbh Mela. And let me tell you that it is an event which comes once in 12 years. Undoubtedly, it's one of the biggest events that take place in the world, a single largest gathering which takes place. Now, coming to the front, rather than looking at the glass half full, I'd like to see it better full in bringing of Hindu-Muslim unity. Shahabuddin Razvi Sahab, what does he mean here? He means that the Muslims have shown large-heartedness, though being a Waqf land, of course, that will be decided by the courts. But having this event together, the fact is, let me quickly bring to Ayodhya. What happened at Ayodhya when many people, even Sri Ravi Shankar ji, raised the point that why can't our Muslim brothers show large-heartedness? And since Ram Lalla is meant to be, was to be born at the place, show large-heartedness and accept it. Let us not go to the courts for the Supreme Court. Therefore, when the result came in, apart from the likes of fringe elements and the Oasis, largely the Muslims of India accepted it. Same precedent being followed here. Shahabuddin Rizvi Sahab, all he means is that this is Ganga Jamna Tehzeeb coming together with the due respect which belongs to the Mahakumbh, and all the people who celebrate this beautiful gathering. It's an accepting of the nature that Indian Hindus, Muslims will come together and they will have this. And of course, the Waqf land, of course, let's leave it to the courts. For now, Mahakumbh is something which comes once in 12 years and should be wholeheartedly celebrated in the grandest of grandeur at this time.
Ashwini Dubey.
Anandji, which court? When the power of the court is barred, when no court of the country under the Waqf Act is empowered to deal with the matter related with the Waqf, when there is no appeal or revision against the order of the tribunal. And the Indian Constitution establishes three types of court. The Union Judiciary under Article 124, 146, barred under the Waqf Act. High Courts under Article 214 to 231, barred under the Waqf Act. Subordinate courts under Article 233, 237, barred. Which court, if an aggrieved person is by the indiscriminate decision of the Waqf board, will go to? Even the Supreme Court says we don't have power. High Court says no, the power. Civil courts are not vested with any power. But on the one hand, shining example you see, the Places of Worship Act, you cannot file the suit. And Waqf board, civil court's jurisdiction is barred. What my friend is referring to? Which court you will go to? You will have to go to the board which has a Muslim MLA, Muslim MP, Muslim IS officer, Muslim town planner, Muslim advocate, Muslim scholar, Muslim mutawalli, which are paid from the public exchequer, and they have to take a decision largely and in fact 100% if you're the board. So there are no powers.
I have been testimony to many cases where those tribunal held the hearings and it did not even go in the favor of the Karnataka Waqf board. It was won by the opposite parties who were even non-Muslims, who were even won by Hindus. So it does not mean, sir, that any case that comes to Waqf tribunal will be in the favor of the Waqf board. No, sir, this is not a kangaroo court. Over the last several number of years, there have been cases which have been fought and lost many times by the respective Waqf boards of this country, including my state of Karnataka. So do not be of one vision that anything that comes here will be won by state Waqf board. This is not a dictatorial land, this is not a banana republic, and this is not a Karnataka's or any Waqf board's kangaroo court. So respected sir, rather than propagating in a different manner or propagating as a Hindu-Muslim issue, let us not look at it at that front. Waqf land or not, let's leave it. The fact is, Mahakumbh comes once in
No,
12 years.
my point is, if
and
they should
therefore,
not be looked
let
at,
it be
then why make
celebrated.
a claim like that? Secondly, the Triveni and Mahakumbh are supposed to be riverine areas, and it's on the banks of the rivers, at the confluence, at the point of confluence, 4,000 hectares, of which he claims these 55 bighas are being used for, especially for the Mahakumbh. Now, when somebody makes a claim like that, what are they trying to underline? And this large-heartedness, sir, is somebody doing a favor to the other? Then this entire tone of large-heartedness should then turn around, and should Hindus say that we have been showing, or Hindus have been showing large-heartedness for the last many centuries for 326 known designated temples and religious sites which have been forcibly occupied and converted, whose entire DNA has been attempted to be changed and especially and forcibly occupied.
I will answer that.
So this whole aspect of large-heartedness, I don't understand. The third thing is that this Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb is a misnomer. How is Jamuna got anything to do with Muslims?
I will answer that, Anand Saab.
The Jamuna has got equally to do with Sanatan faith than anything else. So this Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb, etc., seems to be a misnomer. Why would a Shahabuddin Barelvi come out and make a comment like this just days ahead of Kumbh, if that is not, the intent is not to rabble-rouse?
I will answer that. I will answer that. Certainly the timing can be questioned on this front. But the fact of the matter is, I've always believed, Anand Saab, that with great power, there is responsibility and there is accountability here in case of Shahabuddin Rizvi Saab. But let me also tell you that the fact of, his intent here, if I've seen the full video and I can tell you, is to say that we are here together. Musalman tangdili nahi dikha rahe hain. They are here, and he has also shown the importance of this event. There is absolutely no doubt about it. But I'd like to leave you with just 2 lines which I prepared before coming to your debate. I have read this. La main teri Geeta padh lu, tu padh le Quran, ek thali mein khana khaye sara Hindustan. I also request Chakrapani Swami ji, who has said that Dehshatgardi, Pakistani, Atankwadi, even that is uncalled for. There is absolutely no need to bring in that front of funding and so on and so forth. Largely, the point I'm making here is, let us not trivialize this issue. Mahakumbh is a great event. It's an event of grandeur. It is celebrated by the Sanatan Dharma all over the world. It is the largest gathering of the world. Happens only once in 12 years. Let us not trivialize this. Absolutely no propaganda. Muslim brothers, Hindu brothers.
The attempt is not to trivialize. The attempt is to try this entire attitude or tone to say that we are allowing this to happen and that's our large-heartedness, is something that I would, and I think many viewers would also take umbrage to, because you are not allowing and there is no permission or large-heartedness or favor is not being done. So then in that case, then every community will turn around and say, we are doing a favor by allowing you to do your thing. That does not talk about the entire fabric of inclusivity. It doesn't talk of an inclusive fabric. It talks about the fact that I don't want to do it, but I am allowing you to do it. You have to be thankful to me that I am allowing you to do it. That kind of a tonality doesn't bring harmony and doesn't bring this one. If you were to say, listen, I will partake and I will celebrate with you as much as you celebrate with me, that feeling is different. The tonality is different. Ashwini Dubey, Shahabuddin Rizvi, well, he claimed 55 bighas of Waqf land, but was his intent in the wrong place?
Not only wrong place, it's a deliberate, malicious, knowing, malafide attempt to create a claim over a religious, spiritual practices of the Kumbh, which is being followed from centuries, as in more than hundreds and 500 years. In fact, this statement, if should not have been made, and he would have said कि भैया आप हमारे लोगों को नहीं allow करें, at least allow करो, by claiming that you are not allowing the people from our people to come in the Kumbh, but we have given our 54 acres of land, 44 bighas of the land, means that हम दरिया दिल हैं. What kind of, this is,
with respect to the tonality, that part that you've brought in, let me give this beautiful quote. A lot of times we tend to differ or fight in terms of tonality. Many a times, what is said, lost in translation. What is said to what is heard and what is interpreted is lost. I, on your show, with all responsibility, say that Shahabuddin Rizvi Saab would have been a lot more composed, bespoke in terms of his tonality, of course. But of course, if his intent, which I do understand and interpret, is indeed being of Hindu-Muslim unity and coming together, it should be seen that way.
The idea is the intent to say we need to also profit and make money out of the conglomeration of 45 crore Shraddhalu when they are coming here? It's a missed opportunity economically for us. Whereas when we have a conglomeration, it is exclusive and nobody else but people from our own community and our faith should be there. The benefits of the economic benefits, the participatory benefits should not extend to any other community. That's the rule. That's what is happening. Then it's not a two-way street, Syed Asad Abbas. It's not a two-way street. Then who's being exclusive and who's not is a different point. But Ashwini Dubey, Syed Asad Abbas, I have to wind up. I've run out of time. I thank you for joining us. We're going to take a very short break. When we come back, it's the story of the double J's. Jake, who's in Bharat, and Justin, who's thinking about quitting in Canada.
Can the BJP end its 27-year-long power drought in Delhi? Well, the party is employing a multi-pronged strategy to live up to this challenge as it senses anti-incumbency against the Aam Aadmi Party's decade-long rule and feels that the narrative of AAP's corruption and misgovernance has percolated to the masses. It is also a very localized campaign by the BJP this time, with the Prime Minister speaking about sewers and waterlogged roads and DTC fleets and potholes. This is a marked shift from the national issues campaign run by BJP in the past in Delhi. The effort is to touch the pulse of the common Delhiite on the issues he's facing day in and day out. The BJP strategy, in fact, seems to be on 5 political pillars, glimpses of which have been evident in the 2 public addresses of the Prime Minister in Delhi last week. Number 1, Modi is again the BJP's face in Delhi and the party is not projecting any chief ministerial face. Number 2, it is the Prime Minister and Amit Shah who are leading the attack on AAP on the Sheeshmahal campaign around the Chief Minister's affluent residence. The BJP feels this is AAP's Achilles heel. Number 3, the BJP is highlighting AAP's misgovernance from the state of the Yamuna to air pollution to try keep the campaign local. It says Delhi needs a double-engine government run by the BJP. Number 4, the BJP is planning a strong counter to Aam Aadmi Party's 2 major weapons. Number 1, free electricity and the rupees 2100 promised to women. BJP has also made a major overture to slum dwellers who are a major vote bank in Delhi, with Prime Minister Modi saying that everyone will get a pakka home. 5th, the BJP is hoping that the Congress and the BSP can also dent AAP's votes in multiple seats and BJP ends up gaining from it. Modi is the face. Leading the charge against the AAP is again the BJP's top face, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This was the same case in 2020 when the BJP had lost. BJP did project Kiran Bedi as their chief ministerial face in 2015, but that ended in a disaster as AAP won as many as 67 out of the 70 seats in Delhi. Arvind Kejriwal and his party are taking potshots at the BJP, asking who their dulha or the bridegroom is in these elections. But the BJP feels there are bigger issues in this Delhi election than the CM face. It is buoyed by the wins in Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh in 2023 without projecting any CM face. The 2 posters released by the BJP so far only have Modi as the face on them. The BJP in fact feels that AAP has complicated its own strategy by saying that Kejriwal will replace Atishi as the CM if AAP wins, despite the Supreme Court putting stiff conditions on Kejriwal while granting him bail. Number 2, big strategy of the BJP is Sheeshmahal AAP's Achilles heel. Well, unlike 2020, when BJP did not have as much ammunition on the front of corruption of AAP, this election is different, as the Sheeshmahal controversy around the CM's affluent residence could prove to be its Achilles heel. This explains PM Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah leading the attack on this issue. To quote Prime Minister Modi, "I never built a house for myself. I could have also built a Sheeshmahal, but my dream has been that the poor get a concrete house." A latest CAG report, which has not been tabled in the Delhi Assembly so far, has also posed serious questions on the lavish expenditure done in refurbishing and renovating the CM's residence in Delhi. The Prime Minister has led the attack on this CAG report as well, saying Kejriwal was focused on building the Sheeshmahal at a time when the national capital was struggling with COVID. Failed governance. BJP is also doubling down on the state of the Yamuna and the persistent air pollution issue in the national capital to corner AAP's governance model in Delhi. PM has termed AAP as Apada, or a calamity for Delhi. While the AAP is showcasing its health and education model in Delhi, BJP is trying to tell the people that AAP has failed on core governance issues like sewage system and water scarcity and is always on a confrontational mode with the centre, hence impeding Delhi's development. In fact, the BJP is imploring voters to return to the development model of governance rather than AAP's freebie culture, much like it was in the Sheila Dikshit era when Congress was in power both in the centre and in the state. The BJP is urging Delhi's voters to again opt for a double-engine government in Delhi so that development activity in Delhi can go again ahead unhindered. It is important for Delhi to walk hand in hand with India's development journey, the Prime Minister said on Sunday. He said this is why it is important that the BJP is in power both in centre and in Delhi. The Prime Minister also said that all the big works in Delhi are done by the centre and that it has given rupees 75,000 crores to Delhi. The Prime Minister's twin rallies in Delhi last week have focused on a development gift for Delhi, and this is BJP's big focus now. The Prime Minister is also imploring voters to consider how a party whose top leaders had to go to jail in various corruption scams will now focus on development. The excise scam, besides the Sheeshmahal, is another big campaign point for the BJP. PM Modi on Sunday, in fact, pointed to various scams in Delhi to say.
Back on with the CNN News 18 exclusive. As the United States NSA, Jake Sullivan is in Bharat. He has said that the India Initiative on Critical and Emerging Technology is a people's initiative and brainchild of the NSA Ajit Doval. Jake Sullivan has said that it has taken the partnership to new heights, and he's also added that the US is finalizing necessary steps to remove barriers in our country as far as the Indo-US civil nuclear cooperation formal paperwork is concerned, and that will also be completed very soon.
I can announce that the United States is now finalizing the necessary steps to remove long-standing regulations that have prevented civil nuclear cooperation between India's leading nuclear entities and U.S. companies. The formal paperwork will be done soon, but this will be an opportunity to turn the page on some of the frictions of the past and create opportunities for entities that have been on restricted lists in the United States to come off those lists and enter into deep collaboration with the United States, with our private sector, with our scientists and technologists to move civil nuclear cooperation forward together.
So there's a positive direction in Indo-US relationship. Constructive announcements have come forth from the US. Crucial talks with NSA Ajit Doval. These are some of the quotes in the conversation or from Jake Sullivan's address. Now there's a discussion on strategic ties. There's a discussion on defense, security, cooperation in technology. Civilian nuclear cooperation is also something that's been focused on or touched upon. Now NSA Sullivan's India visit also covered some of the aspects which point in the direction that the two NSAs have been jointly leading this entire initiative, and the aim is to continue this under the new Donald Trump administration. So the forthcoming administration, it is expected, will only carry on or continue on the same lines. Now the inauguration of Trump as the 47th president of the US will take place on the 20th of January, and Jake Sullivan last visited our country in June 2024. Now, what's the overall aim? The aim is to increase cooperation in AI, increase cooperation in quantum computing, increase cooperation in semiconductors, and also in space technology. Now, Jake Sullivan's visit will also discuss the impact of Chinese dams in Tibet. The discussions will focus on the implications of these Chinese dams, particularly the hydropower dam being built in the Yarlung-Zangbo River in Tibet, which actually flows into Bharat. Now, Bharat has expressed concerns about China about this potential water supply impact of this dam, although China has come with hydrological data to say that no, there will be no direct impact, although this river then also contributes into the Brahmaputra or the Luit as it flows into our country, and that could perhaps cause problems, and Bharat has flagged this off time and again. Moving on. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is facing trouble within his own party as a group of dissatisfied Liberal MPs, reportedly around 20, have signed a document calling for a change in leadership. So there is a growing chorus that's now coming through. Increasingly, MPs, more and more of them, are signing such documents to release and show their lack of confidence in Trudeau's leadership. Now, with Trudeau facing trouble within his party as a group of dissatisfied Liberal MPs are reportedly around 20 signing a document calling for a change in leadership, reports say Trudeau is likely to resign as the leader of the Liberal Party to save himself from the embarrassment at the Liberal National Caucus meet on Wednesday. However, he may continue as an interim Prime Minister until a new leader or leadership is elected. According to analysts, the pressure on Trudeau is mounting due to various factors. One reason is the party's loss in the bypolls in Montreal and Toronto. They say that in-house displeasure over policy decisions have actually gone against Trudeau. The results point to another possible struggle against the Conservatives in the upcoming elections. Now, Trudeau's potential resignation has also sparked speculation about the future of the Liberal Party and the possibility of early elections in Canada. Only 28% of the polls suggest that Trudeau will be re-elected. Finance Minister Dominic LeBlanc is being considered as a potential interim leader for the Liberals. More news coming through. According to top sources in the Indian government, Trudeau has been unpopular for a considerable period of time. Trudeau's allegations of Bharat's foreign interference, which although strongly refuted, led to a diplomatic strain between the two nations. Bharat, meanwhile, has accused Trudeau of using theatrics to divert attention from his domestic challenges. Quote, "No leader in the world spoils a diplomatic relationship with a superpower without any reason. His Khalistani card is not playing well. They are opposing him right now. Instead of handling the economy and managing the new United States administration, he was busy giving shelter to Khalistani terrorists such as Gurpatwant Singh Pannoon and others." Unquote. This is what sources have told CNN News 18 Security Affairs editor Manoj Kumar Gupta. With that, we've come to an end of this edition of The Right Stand. Stay with us. Brass Tacks with Zaka.
Green Lamb Laminates presents CNN News 18 Primetime Studio.
Good evening, you're watching Brass Tacks with me, Zaka Jacob. We're coming to you live from the CNN News 18 Primetime Studio presented by Green Lamb Laminates. The Sheeshmahal controversy has got much bigger now, just ahead of the Delhi elections. The dates for the Delhi elections could be declared as early as this week. And it couldn't have come at a worse time for former Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, who's made this whole election in Delhi a referendum on the charges that the BJP have brought against him. Of course, the referendum, by and large, is on the Liquorgate scandal, the matter on which Mr. Kejriwal is out on bail. The charges against him have not been proven in a court of law. But today, there is now a report by the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, the CAG, which shows that the Sheeshmahal, which is the official residence, or at least used to be the official residence of the Delhi Chief Minister, which was renovated when Mr. Kejriwal was Chief Minister a few years ago, it was renovated to the cost of 33 crore rupees. The initial budget was about 10 crore rupees. It shot up by over 300% in the time that it went from the planning stage to the execution stage. Now, some of the items that have been listed in the CAG report, for which lakhs and lakhs of rupees have been splurged, 70 lakhs, bizarrely, for 11 television sets, more than 18 lakhs for a gym and other gym equipment, sheer curtains worth 90 lakh rupees. Now, the point is, for an Aam Aadmi party, for an Aam Aadmi, someone who came to power saying that he will shun the spoils and the extravagance and the opulence of political office, this has been a big fall from grace. In fact, it has been an outright double standard as far as the Aam Aadmi Party and Mr. Kejriwal is concerned, because this opulence, this kind of grandstanding that he has done on this issue, it is completely contrary to what he promised 10 years ago when he broke into the political scene. The question is, more than the Liquorgate charges, where it could still be argued that those charges have not been proven against him, he was a minister with no portfolio, there were no signatures on any of the files. But in this case, this was to renew the chief minister's house. It was Mr. Kejriwal and his family who was staying in that house. And 33 crore rupees was spent on it, including 90 lakhs for curtains and 70 lakhs for television sets and 18 lakhs for gym equipment, 4.5 lakhs for a mini bar. How can this be condoned? How can this be overlooked? How long can the Aam Aadmi Party ignore these grave charges against a man who famously has called himself, on many an occasion in the past, Kattar Imandar?
जब दिल्ली के लोग कोरोना से जूझ रहे थे, तब इन लोगों का पूरा फोकस अपना शीश महल बनवाने में था।
एस्टिमेटेड कॉस्ट 7 करोड़ का हुआ और जब टेंडर निकला तो वो 8 करोड़ 62 लाख का निकाला गया। उसी में ही पहले में ही घोटाला हुआ।
भाजपा जब